Okay guys, so yesterday, shall we start? No problem if you do not have system also, because it is getting recorded. Okay, so practice you can do later, you can just understand. So yesterday we have done the analysis, but we didn't check the result, right? So today we will learn how to check the different forces, moments, displacements, whatever output you want, how to check those parameters. Today we will see that. let us run the model again. Okay, so our analysis is ready. Now we can check the results. So first thing, you should always check the mode shape and fundamental period. Okay, and there one thing to confirm is the period what the software is giving, it is as per our expectations or not. Sometimes what happens if you are not doing the modeling properly. Okay, so the model if it is not accurate enough, so you can get some absurd result which is not expected. Because software doesn't know what is the correct answer, what is the wrong answer. Whatever input we are giving, software will give some output for that. Okay. Now we have to judge whether that output what is given by the software is correct or not. Okay. So this can be done by checking the period of the building using the formula which is given in the IS code. Okay. There are I think 3 or 4 formulas given in the IS code for determining the period of the building, right? In this case, this is the bare frame structure. You know what is bare frame? It means we have only the frame components, beams and columns. These are the parts of frames. Okay, but the slab and infill walls are not considered here. Even if slab is considered, still it will be called as bare frame if you are not adding the infill wall. Okay. So for bare frame, there is one formula given 0.075 into h to the power 0.75 something. Okay, so that is applicable for bare frame structure. You will use that formula and determine the period. Okay, now there better to open that formula in IS code. Alright, so you can see here this one, clause 7.6.1 in that first option, option A, bare frame MRF buildings. MRF means what? Moment resisting frame. Okay, so in this building, the formula given for determining the structural period is 0.075 into h to the power 0.75 for RC MRF building. Then again you have second one for RC steel composite building and third one for steel MRF building. Okay, so in this case our structure is reinforced concrete structure and again it is bare frame structure. So we will be going for this formula for determining the period. Let's see what are the other formulas. Here we have in option B building with RC structural wall. It means if you add the shear wall to the building. Okay, so now we do not have any shear wall, so this formula will not apply. And next option you have all other buildings. It can be anything other than these two classes. One is bare frame, another one is structure with RC shear wall. Okay, so if it is other than these two, then you will go for third formula. It can be masonry building also. It means you do not have any RC frame, simply you have the walls which is taking the load. Okay, or something other than this configuration also. So for all those cases you will use the third formula. Now you apply this formula and determine the period for this building. 10-story building, story height is 3 meters. So that h is total height. Okay, so in this case what will be the total height of building we have? Bottom story height is 2 meters, remaining 3 meters. So total will be total what will be the h value? 32, right? We have 10 story plus length height is 2 meters, so 32. So calculate the period and tell me how much you are getting. This is the expression 0.075 into h to the power 0.75. .009. Okay, but how much we are getting?
1.8.
1.8 in one direction and in another direction 1.73 something. Means both are closer. So you can take 1.8. But this is 1.009, means almost 1 only, right? So why this much variation?
Without any machine, we have
wall load. We have added wall load.
We have
Added wall load.
masonry.
no wall loads, everything we have added, but still that will not affect the period. Stiffness of the structure will affect the period. Okay, it means in our case the stiffness is less than what is considered in the formula, code formula. Okay, this is because the code is giving the conservative result. Okay, it can be very less, but on the safer side, not on the unsafer side. Okay, so we have 1.8, but here it is 1. It means in which case you are expecting more shear, base shear. Which case? In our case or code based formula case? This case. How? So this is something response spectrum we have. This is the period and this is spectral acceleration. Okay, as the spectral acceleration increases, our base shear will be increased, right? So for we have two periods. One is this one, another one is this one. Okay, so this is 1.8 and this is 1. In which case you will get more force. Means the code based equation is giving higher base shear. Right? You have period 1 and corresponding to that your spectral acceleration will be higher than the period 2. Is it clear?
Yes.
So which means that the code based equation is giving higher force, right? We have to design for higher base shear. So higher base shear we will be designing means our section will become little bit larger in sizes. For example, you are designing one building for 5000 kilonewton, another building you are designing for 10,000 kilonewton. So to resist 10,000 kilonewton, you need higher beam and column sizes, right? So if you design for the lower period, your structure will become more rigid. Is it clear? It means your structural capacity will be more compared to that our software based equation. Is it clear? So our code is giving the conservative result. So that is the perspective of code. It will always tend to give the safer result. Okay.
Sir,
So that is the case. It is giving the lesser
not
period.
started from 0, it is started from EPGA.
Sorry.
EPGA started from EPGA. Response factor.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Because anyhow we are not going to use this way.
Yeah.
Thank you. So you understood, right? Why the code is giving the lesser period. Now see, we have the period, and this is actually another building model. So already analysis is done here. We'll check the results from this case. You start what you check? We check the period and more shapes, right? And more participation factor also. So these three parameters are very important. One is mode shape, another one is period, another one is mode participation factor. So before going further, you have to check all these three parameters whether these are expected or not. Okay, but if you skip, but suppose you have not checked, okay, and you are proceeding further, you are doing all the analysis and design, but later on you came to know that these parameters are not satisfying the code criteria. So what you have to do, again you have to go back, again you have to do all the things. Okay, so one by one you have to check. Your mode participation factor should be more than 90%. If you are not getting in one mode, that is fine, but whatever total modes you are taking, in combination of all those, you have to get at least 90%. Okay, so yesterday I didn't tell how to set the mode numbers also, so that we will see now. See, in load case you will get this. Here, define, then go to load cases, and this modal load case you have. Okay, click on modify, and here you see maximum number of modes, 24. Okay, this you can set how many numbers of mode you need. Okay, our objective is to get minimum 90%. Okay, for example, in the first trial, let's say I have given 8 modes total and I have done the analysis. Okay, then I have I came to know that the total mode contribution is less than 90%. Okay, so this number of modes are not sufficient, that means then you increase the number of modes. It doesn't matter, you can give even 200, 300. Okay, no problem. So higher is better again, but it will increase the that computational time. In this case, it doesn't matter, this is simple structure. So if you add 1000 modes also, within 5 minutes it will complete. But if your structure is complex, very complex, okay, and the story may be 40, 50 story, and area is also very high. Okay, so in this case it will increase the computation time. So that's why we'll give some reasonable number of modes so that we can get at least 90%. So 24 is enough, I think. We'll see the result. So for checking the result now, again yesterday I told this one, so again I am showing here. You have to go to structural output, base pair. See, here you can see number of modes, 24, whatever we have assigned earlier. Okay, so this 24 you can modify how many what you can set, and in total at the last row you can see here 0.996. It means for 24 modes in this direction we are getting the mode participation of 96.6%. Okay, how much we need minimum? 90%. So it is more than sufficient. So that's fine. Similarly, in y direction, if you see again 96.63, so that is also fine. So like this you have to check. Okay, and one more thing to check is the first mode participation factor. This is in y direction, as I told you yesterday. How to decide whether it is y direction or x direction. How much you are getting for this mode? 78. So you have to remember, for first mode again you have to get at least 65%. Okay, sometimes because of the non-symmetry, if your structure is not symmetrical, so this mode participation factor is going to reduce. But you should not consider a structural configuration which is very much non-symmetric, so that you are getting less than 65%. Why? Because if your structure is non-symmetric, it will attract more earthquake forces, and the damage possibility is more because of the higher torsion. Okay, so you have to remember this first mode participation factor should be at least 65%. If you are not getting, you have to ignore that structural model. there is no alternative way. Okay. Similarly for x direction also. So these things you have to be careful. Okay. The next thing is base reaction. Base reaction means base shear. So how much we are getting? Okay, so here you see, here you can see the output. What we are checking is base reaction or base shear, and for this case earthquake load in x direction, and the amount in x direction is 1551 point something in kilonewton. Okay, similarly in y direction also you are getting 1547 point something kilonewton. Okay, now you have to again cross verify this with the formula given in the code. Okay, so if you have the code, open that, and this is the formula for calculating base shear, right? Vv is equal to Ah into W. This you have already studied in, I think, previous semester also, how to calculate the base shear. Okay, so consider this building and seismic weight I will give you. This is the seismic weight you see here. Okay, 43661 something kilonewton. So consider this one and calculate the base shear and tell me. You have 5 minute time, calculate and tell me. Consider the period given by the code, not this one, okay? And calculate the base shear and tell me. So how much you are getting? How much?
1553.29.
Really? What is the period you consider? Which one? तो इसमें वेट तो ग्रेविटी डायरेक्शन में होगा ना? Okay, so you are getting, I think all of you are getting 1553 something, right? Base year how much you are getting?
2116.
Yeah, tell me how much you are getting. See, here we have, I'll tell you why it is different now. One result I got is this one. You are getting this much, right? Next,
2160.
160.
2116.
2116. Okay, let it be. Then, anything else? 1711. Why this much different? What is the period? This is the period, right?
1.09. Yes.
So S by G will be
1.36 divided by 1 by T.
1.8.
1 by T.
Oh, sorry. S by G I am asking. 1 by T. Yeah. So 1 by 1.009.
1.36 by T. Sir, response factor से करना है. Response factor.
Yeah, we are.
Response factor. 1.36 by T. है ना?
Wait. See, there are two response spectrum. Listen here, please. There are two response spectrum in the code also. See. Here our analysis is based on response spectrum method. So which one you have to use? Second one, right? This one. Okay. So and soil condition, I think I didn't consider medium soil. Type 2. For type 2, what is the formula?
ऊपर. ऊपर ही है. 9 नंबर, पेज नंबर 9.
You can see for using response spectrum method, S by G for medium soil. Okay. For period less than between 0.1 to 0.55 and 0.55 to 4. So we have to go for 1.36.
ऐसे बाई की 1.36.
So this is the equation. This multiplied by, if you want to convert this into acceleration, you have to multiply by 9.81, right? So now calculate the base shear and tell me. This is the expression, correct expression. I think now all of you should get the same result. So 2116, I guess this is correct. Is it correct? 2116. Now see the software. How much is given here for x and y direction? In x direction it is 515, in y direction 471. Okay. So next step is to apply the base shear correction. Okay. It means yesterday also I told, if our response spectrum method is giving the result which is lesser than the code criteria, then at least the code criteria we have to satisfy. Okay. And this is using, I think, response spectrum method. So let us try the equivalent static method. Because we have to satisfy with the equivalent static method, not with the response spectrum method. This first one, we have to use the response spectrum given for equivalent static method. Then we have to calculate the base shear. So this base shear will be compared with the base shear given by the software. Okay. So for this case, I can calculate the base shear and tell me.
1.53.
This one we have to use now for using equivalent static method. So this is same, I think 1.36 by t. So result will be same. Okay. So what we are getting is 2000 something, but what is given in the software is 500 something. Okay. So I will show you how to apply this base shear. And before applying this one, let's see in the code what is given for this condition. See, in this 7.7 clause dynamic analysis method, if you see this one 7.7.3, the dynamic analysis may be performed by either the time history method or response spectrum method. When either of this method is used, the design base shear VB estimated shall not be less than the design base shear VB bar calculated using the fundamental period. Okay, it means it is saying whatever result you are getting using dynamic analysis method. Dynamic analysis means that response spectrum method is also one dynamic analysis method. So whatever is getting by using that method in software, that should not be less than the VB bar given by the fundamental period. Means using the code based formula. Okay. So this VB bar is that one what you calculated just now, 2000 something. And VB is the one which is given by the software. Okay, so you are comparing these two, that VB should not be less than VB bar. Okay, so let us now write these two parameters, how much we are getting. Let's say in x, VBX is equal to 515.5 and VB bar. So this will be same either for x or y because you are considering only one period. Okay, is equal to 2116. Now you have to apply the correction factor. Let's say that is FC correction factor something else is equal to VB bar by VB x. Okay, so you'll get some parameter here. How much? 4.1. Similarly, you'll have again, let's say this is for x. Similarly, you'll have FCY also because this VB will be different. Okay, as you can see here, this is 471. Okay, so you can determine for FCY also. 4.5. Okay. Now what you have to do, you have to modify your load case. Okay, unlock the model. You know this, right? Locking and unlocking. What is the purpose? So locking means once the analysis is done, so it will store the result whatever you are getting. But when you unlock this one, that will be erased. Whatever analysis output was there, that will be erased. Okay, and if you want to run this, you have to unlock that. Define load case EQX, modify. See this scale factor, it was 1. Now we have to increase it by 4.1. Okay, so if you increase this one, this output will be same as that what you are getting by the formula. Okay, so this will be 4.1, and similarly for y it will be 4.5. Now let us see what is the result we are getting. How much is that? 2113 and 2120, because when you have written this 4.1, maybe you have skipped some fraction, that's why. Okay, so this is the concept of base pair correction to validate with the criteria given in the code. Okay, so this is again to make the structure safe, because our code is conservative compared to the software, so we are aiming to make our structure conservative according to the code. Okay, is it clear? Is there any doubt in this? Okay. Now see how to check different forces and moments. Let us now check our forces and moments due to one of the load case. Sorry, one of the load combination. Let's say dead load combination.
Can you erase that?
Sorry. See this symbol you can see, right? This one. This is for checking the forces. You can go there, and here you can choose the load combination for what you want to see. Now I will check for the gravity load combination, which is 1.5 into dead load plus live load. Okay. So for this combination, what output you want to see, you can choose from this. You have axial force. You have shear in 2 direction, shear in 3 direction. Then similarly movement in 2 movement in 3 torsion, in-plane shear, in-plane movement. So these parameters you have, whichever you want you can choose, and Yeah, that's it. So let us start with axial force. Okay, and apply. See, so this is the axial force coming to different columns. Okay, as expected, axial force will be maximum in the bottom story, right? So you can see as the story is going higher, your axial force is reducing. Okay, so you can click on any of the column and right click. Okay, now you see here axial force P. So axial force P, this is showing the span, means total length of the member. It starts from 0 here and this is the maximum length. Okay, and throughout this height axial force is constant, that's why you can see only one horizontal strip. Okay, and what is that amount? 3594 kilonewton, and this is because of the load combination 1.5 into dead load plus live load. It is not considering the earthquake load because we have not given the combination here. Okay, now see, if you want to check this axial load for some other cases, you can, let's say I want to take 1.2 into dead load plus live load plus earthquake in X minus 30% of earthquake in Y. Now see here, maximum is this much and minimum is this much. Why maximum and minimum is coming here? Because your earthquake load is reversible, right?
Yes.
So for both the condition it is showing the result. Okay, so like this you can check. Now instead of axial load I want to check something else, and along with that axial load you can also check the torsion also. See, here it is showing the torsion, how much is coming, maximum and minimum. I want to check the moments, and you know this one, right? Moment in 3-3 and moment in 2-2. Do you have anyone is having doubt here, both for moment and shear? I can explain if you are having the problem. Let's say this is one beam, okay, and this is the cross section you have. Okay, so you will have this axis. Let's say this is Y and this is X. So when we are considering the bending about the axis X, it means I am considering this bending. So this is the beam, you are considering the bending like this. Okay, so this is moment 3-3, and if you are considering the bending about this Y axis, means I am considering like this. So it will be like this in horizontal plane. Okay, so that will be moment 2-2. But for design, which one you want, moment 2-2 or moment 3-3? Moment 3-3, right? So similarly shear also, shear coming in this direction vertical, that will be V3-3, okay, and shear in horizontal, that will be V2-2, okay. So let's say I want to check M33 for again this gravity load combination, and then apply, and you can see this diagram is symmetric, right? Symmetric means if you take any of the member, the movement from both the direction, both the end, if you see, that will be similar. For example, this member if you take, if you go from this direction and coming from this direction, at a particular distance from both the end, movement will be same, right? For example, this one, at a distance of let's say 0.1 meter, this is the movement. Similarly, at a distance of 0.5 meter or 0.1 meter, it will be same. Okay, so it is symmetric. So that we expect for gravity load case. Okay, this is because our gravity load is symmetric. When yesterday we have applied either triangular load or trapezoidal load, that load was symmetric. So we expect our output should be symmetric. Okay, but if you apply some unsymmetric load, so your expectation for output will also be unsymmetric. Okay, so this is how you can verify the result. And similarly, let's say one for earthquake load. Now you see, M3 maximum is 45 and minimum is minus 100. Okay, so this again we expect earthquake is reversible, so it will give maximum and minimum. At which point we are getting maximum? Maximum 45 at 2.95 meter. Somewhere. Yes. Oh, sorry. Okay, so we'll close here, and this is how you can go for all the outputs, and you can check whether your forces or moments are coming properly or not. And you can continue this one, run the model, then check all the output results, and as you start spending the time here, you will have a lot of doubts. Okay, so you have to explore different parameters, and if you have any doubts, we'll discuss in the next class.